Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Boots on the Trail, and welcome to Hike for Healing 2023. Of course, I am Boots, and right now, it's actually Sunday, June 18th, the day before the actual hike. I'm at the parking area of Waterrock Knob, just off the Blue Ridge Parkway. Tomorrow, we will be attempting to complete all of segment 1 of the Mountains to Sea Trail in less than 24 hours. 47 miles and close to 10,000 feet of elevation gain. This is the Peak to Peak Challenge. Now, our starting point tomorrow is the over 6,600 foot Kuwahi or Clingmans Dome in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And we will end right here at the summit of the near 6,300 foot Waterrock Knob. That summit is right up there. Now, we are literally hiking from peak to peak, hence the name of the challenge. This challenge is a tough one, but is incomparable to the challenges that many people face each and every day. Racism, cultural insensitivities, inequity, and social injustices are quite real. These are not political problems, these are human problems. There are many steps leading towards change, and healing must be part of the process. This is why we hike, a hike for healing, and why we are hiking on the MST, as the MST is for all. There are a lot of people that have supported this year's hike in so many ways. You will hear about some of those specific individuals as we hike tomorrow. We thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting Hike for Healing, and we'll see you up the trail. Well, good morning. Knowing that you can't see us because of the lights, Steps is that light. I am this light. We are making our way up the Clingmans Dome Trail. It's a few minutes after 4 a.m. We're already out of breath from this climb. If you've ever been here, you know what we're talking about. It is a nice temperature, the mid-50s, but extremely foggy. We can only see about 5 feet in front of us, max. But we'll be at the summit here shortly. At that point, the official Hike for Healing will begin. Mountains to Sea Trail this way, that's us. These first 4 miles are shared with the Appalachian Trail. It is quite windy here on top of Clingmans Dome, otherwise known as Kuwahi. But previous experiences here, just give us a few moments, we'll get under good cover of the trees, and that wind should die down a little bit for us, thankfully. And still quite a bit foggy though, so it's going to be a bit of a slower go here on the outset. As we get started though, just want to give a shout out to my own family, Cindy, Alina, Troy, Maya. Thank you guys for your support. Hopefully hikes like these can spawn more conversation just to help create a much better world for all of us. Thanks, guys. Steps, how you feeling back there as we're getting started?
Good. Looking forward to the downhill. I just got my cheap pills.
Salamander capital of the world right here in the Smokies. So going along, we're a couple miles in here. This first section is quite technical coming down, so it is a little bit of a slower go than what we really want our overall pace to be, but it is dark and foggy, so I'm gonna take it easy there. And wet. Yes. All right, guys, we are still going on this first section. It is still a bit windy, still a lot foggy, and now it is rainy. So what a start to the day out here in the wind, rain, and the fog, and the dark. But we're still getting it done. Alright, just left the AT portion on the Fork Ridge Trail now, headed down, got a bit to go. I just want to give a very special thank you to Brent Lawrence, the executive director of the Friends to the Mountains to Sea Trail, and the entire Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail and the Mountains to Sea Trail organizations, as they are heavily committed to diversity, inclusion, and equity of the trail. The MST is for all. So thank you guys for your support for this hike in particular. The use of the logo, it's on my jersey, that you guys can't see right now because it's quite dark still. All right, got a little more daylight, which is nice. Still raining though. We are trudging on. Hey guys, we are almost down to the Deep Creek crossing here. We're about 8 miles or so, maybe a little more in. And still raining. At least we have some daylight. It's not raining as hard as it was earlier, so that's good. How you doing back there, Steps?
A little wet, good.
All right, fair enough. Well, I'm gonna do this Deep Creek crossing here. It's gonna be a very wet one, which we're already wet. Do want to give a very special shout out though to a buddy, Austin Dufresne. It's Side Trail Adventures. It's another YouTuber. Does a fantastic channel, and also with Jester Wallace Productions, and you'll hear more about that later on. But Austin was very instrumental in helping me figure out some of the logistics for this section of, especially this section of the Mountains Sea Trail, but the whole thing in general. So thank you, Austin. You guys be sure to check out his content, and we'll see you up the trail. Guess they don't call it Deep Creek for no reason. This creek crossing is brought to you by Candy Corn. Fuel your hike properly, kids. finished the Deep Creek section of segment 1 and just turned up on our next trail. We'll hit Soco Ridge here momentarily, but I do want to give a very special shout out to Lori Prima and the Hike podcast. Lori had me on as a guest recently, and I thank you so very much for that. Thank you for the conversation. Lori's a great host. It's a great podcast, so guys, be sure to check out the Hike podcast on all of your podcast platforms. Thanks again, Lori, for your support. We'll see you guys on up the trail. We've been going mostly downhill all morning. Now we've got a little bit of a climb. I say a little bit of a climb, it's a lot of bit of a climb. It's almost a little shock to the system, but at least it has paused raining, at least for the time being. I'll take it. Made it up to Soco Ridge. This is how we continue. It's like 4.9 miles to the Thomas Divide Trail, which we were on about 6 weeks ago. The rain doesn't know what it's gonna do, but we're gonna keep moving. I do want to give another thank you though to Courtney Miller, aka Unfiltered. Courtney was gracious enough to have me on her podcast as well, the Unfiltered, Hiking Unfiltered podcast. There we go. And had a fabulous time with there. Another great podcast for all you guys to listen to. And I really love Courtney's final question to everyone she has on is, what are you doing to become more unfiltered in your own life? And I think that just goes right along with what we're doing today and the Hike for Healing. So thank you again, Courtney. Guys, be sure to check her out. We'll see you further on up the trail. This is my first time on Soco Ridge Trail, and I say it's quite nice. There's, even in clear weather, I don't think we would have any big views or anything like that, but the trail itself is nice. And while I know we are still climbing in elevation and going uphill, the grade on this trail really isn't too bad. So you don't really feel it quite as much climbing this one, but we are continuing on. This is about as much view as we've had all day. No complaints though. Temps are nice. The rain has at least stopped still for the moment, and we're moving on. Guys, we are almost at the Thomas Divide Trail, where we will go ahead and cross over Newton Bald and then get on the Mingus Creek Trail for a bit. And that means the climbing for a while is almost over for us. I know Steps back there is quite happy about such things, as am I. But I want to give just another thank you for a second-year supporter named Brandon Ostoria. Appreciate you, bud. Appreciate you being with us for year 2 in addition to year 1. We're traveling on. Back in the clouds on the ridge. at the Mingus Mill area, almost down to Newfound Gap Road, about 26 miles or so that we've done thus far. Thank you guys for sticking with us, and a very special thank you out to second-year supporter Sarah Margarita Gonzalez. Sarah, we appreciate you so much for coming back this year and supporting again. You're a great encourager. Thank you again for supporting Hike for Healing 2023. Got a short road walk here to get to the Oconaluftee Visitor Center. Around 27 miles by our measurement at this point. And Steps, this is about to be your end point. How you feeling? Whooped. We are definitely tired. We're gonna grab a bite of lunch. Steps is gonna go get a shower. And I'm going to continue on. I've got about 20 more miles or so to go. All right, so I have Jess with me here. Jess joined the hike on Friday. Actually reached out and ran this morning the first half of segment 1, and she actually caught up to us. So you can tell we're not running at all. But so glad to have you here. Yeah. Glad that you could come out and be a part.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that I found that you guys were having this hike, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
All right, well, thank you so much. Hey guys, we are on the Blue Ridge Parkway, or technically beside it right this moment, and just finished up the Oconaluftee River portion of the Mountains to Sea Trail. Big super shout out to Azzy Damasi, again, second year supporter, but she drove over here just to help out with a resupply and aid station, bringing fresh supplies and food. So definitely couldn't have done it without you, Azzy. Appreciate that so very much. Thank you for coming out and supporting Hike for Healing. And as you see with me, a familiar face to the channel is cousin Chris, and you've seen him on a few other videos, and he just hiked another portion. He's going to take this next section with me as well, whereas Steps' day is done, Chris's is just beginning. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you further up the trail. Finally getting a bit of a view here on the parkway. We're pressing on. We're approaching this tunnel, and thing about tunnels on the Blue Ridge Parkway is it's illegal to walk in them. So there are trails constructed that go around them. So we're gonna bear left up here just before this tunnel. And we do that, I do want to give a very special shout out to Jan Onan and the Carolina Mountain Club as a whole. You've seen on my jersey, I'm wearing the Carolina Mountain Club logo. They are supporting this hike. So thank you very much for that. Jan, thank you for your encouragement, for sure. And these trails around the tunnels, and then a little bit more that we'll be on later today, were actually constructed by the Carolina Mountain Club and are still maintained by such. Coming up on the Rattlesnake Mountain Tunnel, and same as before, we've got to go around it, but Just want to give a shout out to our buddy Ira Watson, who is a second-year supporter for Hike for Healing. Thank you so much, Ira, for all of your assistance and conversation and encouragement. And thank you for supporting Hike for Healing. Here, almost down from the Rattlesnake Mountain Tunnel bypass, and I will say I'm glad almost down for that one. That one was pretty steep climb, but we are pressing on, and the good news is we have no more tunnels to skirt around, at least in this fashion. So back out on the parkway, and away we go. Hey guys, we're up here at Thomas Divide. Not much of a view. Got a little bit of a rain starting again. This climb up the parkway is no joke, but did want to give a special shout out to another second-year supporter, and that is Andrew Deaton. Appreciate you again. Appreciate your conversation and support, especially coming into the second year. And Andrew and family were going to come out and hike some with us this year. He had a last-minute change, so we missed you. Hope you can join us next year. Thanks again for supporting Hike for Healing 2023. All right, we're still on the parkway. Has started raining again. Been through a few showers here. Almost done with the parkway section, but just stopped for this wonderful, beautiful view right here. Just wanted to give a special shout out to Judith Patwara, aka Judy the Knitting Hiker. Go follow her on YouTube. Judy, thank you for supporting Hike for Healing this year. Hope to see you out on the trail soon. We are coming into Big Witch Gap, and this is going to be where Chris departs the trail. So thank you, Chris, for joining me on this little 8-miler. You helped push me up the hill. Appreciate that. But I do want to give another shout out, really special shout out to Deneen Prakash Stokes. Deneen is a second-year supporter as well, but as soon as the store went live this year, she bought the very first t-shirt day it went live, and again, as soon as the jerseys went live, like the one I'm wearing, she bought one before I did. So I appreciate you a whole ton, Deneen. Thank you for supporting Hike for Healing. Thank for the rest of you guys for sticking around with us. We'll see you at the trail.
All right, here we are on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And Lee, how are you feeling?
With my mouth full of cookie, I'm tired. That's just the honest truth. I'm flat worn out. Still got a bit to go though, so I need to keep that out of my head.
How far have you come, and much further do you have?
Had you asked me that 5 minutes ago, I probably could have told you. If we're at Big Witch Gap, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of about 35 miles, and that leaves what, 12 or so to go. Something along those lines. That may be wrong.
It's all right, I can't do math either myself.
As I am back on trail, or rather back on the parkway here, at least for a few feet before the trail turns off. And I just want to give a super thanks to Lance and Ali Orchevesky and their son Joseph for supporting Hike for Healing. Second-year supporters as well. You've seen Lance, aka Pizza Planet, before on the channel with another hike of mine, but he drove over, and Ali and Joseph were planning to, and that kind of changed last minute for them, but he drove over and helped to resupply, hiked a little bit with us there to Oconaluftee River Trail. He hung around and then drove up here to Big Witch Gap to bring me my last little resupply. So super thanks to Lance. Thank you for supporting myself and for supporting Hike for Healing. Guys, I was not kidding earlier when I said I was tired. Been a little over 36 miles by my own tracker and have somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 and a half to go. And at least the rain has stopped again, at least temporarily, so it does make it a bit nicer to keep going. Next marker will be Mile High Campground for me, but before I go, I do want to give another shout out to Miss Casey Brown. Casey is also a second year supporter. In last year's hike, Casey was one of the very first to kind of jump on board and kind of help me think through and talk through a lot of the logistics and kind of which way to go and how to approach it. And also extremely supportive this year. So Casey, thank you very, very much for supporting Hike for Healing. This may be a road, doesn't mean it's not steep. Guys, I am coming into Mile High Campground. You see a campsite right over there. It is so named because it is over a mile in elevation up to the campground here. But I do want to give another shout out to a friend and supporter, and that would be Julie Jester Gayhart. Julie has her own podcast called Jester Section Hiker. It's one of my very favorite podcasts to listen to, always very informative. Julie was kind of pivotal in getting me connected with the right folks with the Mountains to Sea Trail, and bringing back a name from earlier, all the way back at Deep Creek this morning, is Austin Dufresne. Austin and Jester have partnered together to form Jester Wallace Productions, and the stuff that they are doing with that is just amazing. So keep up the good work there, guys. And they together have yet another podcast that is pretty neat to listen to as well, and that is the Beyond the Trail podcast. So very, very interesting stuff. But thank you, Jester, for supporting Hike for Healing. Thank you for your help earlier this year. And we'll be departing Mile High Campground here momentarily. Still moving. I just want to give one more shout out to Paul Curtin. Paul is a trail maintainer with the Carolina Mountain Club, and Paul had actually registered to come hike with us today and to do the entire thing, which was just amazing. But he was nursing an injury, so he's off trail for a little bit. So maybe next time, Paul. But thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for supporting Hike for Healing. And I will say this section of trail right here from Docks Gap to Soco Gap, big shout out to the Carolina Mountain Club. This is a beautiful section of trail that you guys have built here. So thank you very much for that as well. All right, guys, Made it to Soco Gap. I've got about 4.5 miles to go to actually summit Waterrock Knob. It is all uphill, about a 2,000 foot climb, I think, if my memory serves correctly. And how am I feeling? Well, I will tell you, spirit, strong. Body, very tired. My feet, pure hamburger meat. It's gonna be pretty dark on trail once I get on trail, just from being undercover. And so I don't know how much filming I'm gonna get to do, but we'll see what happens. Thanks for sticking around. We're almost there. There we go. The camera does not show how dark it actually is in here. And to quote steps from way earlier this morning in the dark, every little thing looks like a snake in the dark. We're pressing on though. Okay, you guys, we're still out here. We're still going. I am huffing and puffing on this climb. Not long now. We're pushing hard. Markers right there. Boom. We made it. Oh man, look at that view. Up here in the clouds. So glad to be done. Summit of Waterrock Knob right here, guys. Now, I've got about a half mile to get back down to my ride. Needless to say, I am tired. One final word here before I sign off for the evening, and that is a big thank you to all who have supported, for the crew that came out and helped to resupply, provide lunch, for all of the other hikers that came out and participated physically, for those that were able to support in other ways. And I also want to give a big thank you to all who reached out with just a word of encouragement over the last couple of days, via email, text message, Instagram, Facebook, all of the above. Thank you so very much. That actually really meant a lot and really helped calm the nerves, so to speak. The best thing you can do to continue to support Hike for Healing is to just simply have a conversation with those around you. Get to know people. Get to learn their story and understand who they are. And share yours as well. In doing so, we will all become better humans and we will create a much better world. Thanks again so much for being a part and supporting. Right here at Clingmans Dome parking lot, so this was our start point yesterday. Just wanted to give one more shout out. Had a donation come in yesterday while we were on trail, so thank you very much to Andre Jones, who is now a supporter of Hike for Healing. Again, thank you all for supporting Hike for Healing this year. And here's a bonus for you guys. We think that we now have an FKT for the MST Segment 1, the Peak to Peak Challenge. It would be unofficial at this point, so we gotta wait for all of that to get verified, but we think we may have achieved an FKT. Again, thank you all for supporting Hike for Healing.